It was supposed to be a routine inspection. But what one powerful CEO heard that afternoon shattered his faith in the people he trusted most. Standing quietly beside a delivery van, dressed in a faded jacket and carrying a stack of packages, he listened as several of his own employees laughed cruelly at a struggling single mother. What happened next would change not only her life, but his as well. Before we begin, if you believe kindness matters more than status, and if you believe everyone deserves a second chance, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs inspiration, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories. Ethan Walker was one of the most successful CEOs in the country. His company employed thousands of people and generated millions of dollars every year. To the outside world, he had everything anyone could dream of: wealth, influence, luxury, and respect. Yet very few people knew the truth. Success had come at a painful price. 5 years earlier, Ethan had lost his wife, Emily, in a tragic car accident. One ordinary morning she had kissed him goodbye before leaving for work. By sunset, she was gone forever. The loss broke him. For months he buried himself in work, convincing himself that business growth would somehow fill the emptiness inside him. The company expanded, profits increased, and newspapers praised his leadership. But every night he returned to an empty house. Every achievement felt meaningless without someone to share it with. Over time Ethan began noticing something troubling inside his company. Employee complaints were increasing. Customer satisfaction was slowly dropping. Talented workers were leaving. On paper, everything looked perfect. In reality, something felt wrong. Instead of relying on reports from executives, Ethan decided to investigate personally. A few times each year he disguised himself and worked anonymously in different departments. Nobody except his closest assistant knew about these secret visits. One cold Monday morning, Ethan dressed as a delivery driver. His expensive suits were replaced by worn jeans and a simple uniform. He parked one of the company's delivery vans and spent the day making deliveries and observing employees. Most workers ignored him completely. Some barely looked at him. Others treated him like he was invisible. That alone saddened him more than he expected. Late that afternoon, Ethan arrived at one of the company's regional offices. As he unloaded packages near the employee parking area, he noticed a woman struggling to carry several heavy boxes while trying to calm a crying little boy standing beside her. The woman looked exhausted. Her clothes were neat but old. Dark circles surrounded her eyes. Every movement suggested someone carrying far more weight than the boxes in her hands. Her name was Sarah Mitchell. She worked in the customer support department. Unknown to most people in the office, Sarah was raising her 6-year-old son alone after her husband died from cancer 3 years earlier. Since then, life had become a constant battle. She worked long hours, cared for her child, paid medical bills left behind by her husband's illness, and fought every day just to survive. Many nights she skipped meals so her son could eat properly. Many mornings she cried privately before going to work. Yet she never complained. She simply kept moving forward. As Ethan watched, several employees stood nearby drinking coffee. Instead of helping Sarah, they laughed. They mocked her old car. They mocked her second-hand clothes. They mocked the fact that she often brought her son to work when childcare arrangements failed. Their words were cruel. Their laughter was worse. They acted as though her struggles were entertainment. What hurt Ethan most was seeing Sarah pretend not to hear them. That reaction revealed something heartbreaking. This wasn't the first time. She had become accustomed to humiliation. Sarah lowered her head and continued carrying the boxes alone. Ethan felt a deep anger rising inside him. Not because employees were being unprofessional. Because they were being heartless. He immediately walked over and helped her carry the remaining boxes. Sarah thanked him with a tired smile. It wasn't a dramatic moment. It was simply one exhausted person grateful that someone had finally offered help. For the next several days Ethan continued working undercover. What he discovered disturbed him even more. Sarah consistently arrived early and stayed late. She handled difficult customers with patience. She helped coworkers complete their tasks. She covered shifts when others called in sick. Yet despite her dedication, she received little appreciation. Meanwhile, some of the very people mocking her contributed far less while constantly seeking recognition. One evening Ethan noticed Sarah sitting alone in the break room after everyone else had left. She was reviewing bills spread across a small table. Her shoulders trembled slightly. She was trying not to cry. Nearby sat a small birthday card her son had made from colored paper. Across the front, written in a child's uneven handwriting, were simple words. "You're the best mom in the world." For a moment Sarah stared at the card. Then she smiled through tears. That tiny handmade gift seemed to give her enough strength to keep going. Watching from a distance, Ethan felt something shift inside him. He remembered Emily. He remembered the kindness she always showed others. He remembered her belief that a person's character mattered far more than their position. And he realized something painful. While he had been focused on profits and expansion, he had neglected the culture inside his company. Numbers were thriving. Humanity was not. The following week Ethan ended his undercover assignment. The regional office announced an emergency all-staff meeting. Employees filled the conference hall, curious about the sudden gathering. Sarah sat quietly in the back row. The workers who had mocked her chatted confidently among themselves. Then the doors opened. Ethan entered wearing one of his usual executive suits. The room fell silent. Confusion spread across countless faces. Several employees immediately recognized him as the delivery driver they had ignored days earlier. Panic replaced confidence. Ethan walked to the stage and looked across the room. His voice remained calm. But every word carried weight. He spoke about leadership. He spoke about integrity. He spoke about respect. Then he shared everything he had witnessed while working undercover. The room became painfully quiet. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Employees who had participated in the mocking stared at the floor. For the first time, they were forced to confront their own behavior. Ethan explained that a company's success is not measured only by revenue. It is measured by how people treat one another. He said that talent without compassion creates a toxic workplace. He said that kindness is not weakness. It is strength. Then he did something nobody expected. Instead of publicly humiliating Sarah's critics, he announced a complete restructuring of workplace culture and accountability standards. Those responsible for repeated bullying faced disciplinary action. Managers who ignored toxic behavior received formal reviews. New programs were introduced to support struggling employees. Mental health resources expanded. Flexible scheduling options increased. Single parents received additional support. The changes affected the entire company. Then Ethan invited Sarah to join him on stage. The room watched as she slowly walked forward, uncertain and nervous. Ethan shared her achievements. He highlighted her performance records. He described her dedication, resilience, and professionalism. Many employees appeared shocked. Most had never taken time to learn anything about her life. They had judged her circumstances without understanding her story. For the first time, Sarah received the recognition she deserved. Tears filled her eyes. Not because she wanted praise. Because someone had finally seen her. Someone had finally acknowledged her struggle. The audience stood and applauded. Many people were crying. Others looked ashamed. In that moment, Sarah's years of silent perseverance were finally honored. Over the months that followed, remarkable changes occurred. Workplace morale improved dramatically. Employees became more supportive of one another. Departments collaborated more effectively. Customer satisfaction increased. Turnover rates declined. People felt valued. Sarah was promoted into a leadership role where she helped mentor newer employees. Her confidence gradually returned. The woman who once sat alone worrying about unpaid bills now helped create opportunities for others facing similar challenges. Meanwhile, Ethan experienced his own transformation. For years he had been surviving. Now he felt alive again. Helping people brought him a sense of purpose that profits never could. He became more involved with employees at every level. He listened more. He understood more. And he never forgot the lessons Sarah had unknowingly taught him. Every person carries invisible battles. Kindness costs nothing. But it can change everything. Years later, during a company celebration, Sarah's son stood beside his mother as she received an award for outstanding leadership. The little boy who once waited quietly in office hallways had grown into a confident young man. As the audience applauded, Ethan looked around the room. The atmosphere felt completely different from the toxic environment he had witnessed years before. People respected one another. They supported one another. They cared. And all of it began with one simple moment. One CEO pretending to be a delivery driver. One struggling single mother refusing to give up. And one painful truth that needed to be exposed before real change could begin. Before this story ends, tell us in the comments, what country are you watching from today? If this story touched your heart, please leave a comment and share your thoughts. Your words may inspire someone who is fighting a difficult battle in silence right now. Sometimes the strongest people are not the loudest or the richest. Sometimes they are the exhausted single mothers who keep going despite impossible odds. Sometimes they are the ordinary workers who choose kindness